I'm watching this video of a cop yelling at Jolly Good Ginger. Please move to the designated free speech zone. I nearly laughed. Not because it was funny, because it sounded like something from a country that no longer remembers what the words mean. A free speech zone. Hell, what is the rest of the country then? The quiet zone? The obedience zone? The keep your mouth shut zone? A free speech zone. Like freedom is now a petting zoo. Like liberty has business hours. Like the First Amendment is still alive, but only if it remains behind the yellow tape. The protesters looked angry. Not the social media kind. Not the comment section kind. The real kind of angry. If someone believes human beings are being abused behind a wall, they aren't gonna be satisfied standing 3 blocks away holding a sign where nobody can see them. Please direct all outrage to the approved outrage receptacle. The protesters are afraid! The cops are afraid! The politicians are afraid! The country is afraid! And fear has a nasty habit of disguising itself as certainty. When I hear phrases like designated free speech zone, I don't hear confidence. I hear nervousness. I hear institutions trying desperately to maintain order while the public grows increasingly convinced that order is no longer serving justice. At some point, a citizen starts wondering whether they're participating in democracy or merely performing it. And that's where things become dangerous. Not because violence is justified. Violence is usually the last refuge of people who have run out of better ideas. It's like, please move to the designated safety zone. You know the kind of safety from what the government will do to you if you don't comply, if you won't ignore their abuse. Abuse of power, abuse of people, abuse of basic human rights. The civil rights movement wasn't effective because people gathered in places that were convenient. Labor movements weren't effective because they protested where nobody could see them. Anti-war protests weren't effective because they stayed comfortably out of sight. The purpose of protest has never been comfort. A protest is a pressure valve. These people believe there are human beings inside this building being treated like animals, so they showed up. They cared enough to leave the house. That's more than most people do. The danger comes from hopelessness. True, genuine hopelessness is the real accelerant. It sits quietly beneath the floorboards while everyone argues about procedure. The people in power fear chaos. The people in the streets fear indifference. A way for people to express outrage without expressing it through something worse. When people feel ignored, dismissed, or pushed out of sight, tension often grows. That's just human nature. Once a citizen decides their voice no longer matters, they stop behaving like a participant in the system. They begin behaving like someone abandoned by it. And when veterans like Jolly Good Ginger are standing in those crowds, people who spent years being told they were defending freedom, people who risked their lives under the promise that constitutional rights mattered. Imagine being one of those veterans and hearing the phrase, designated free speech zone. The moment citizens begin to believe their voices no longer matter is the moment a democracy enters dangerous territory. The answer isn't less speech. The answer isn't hiding dissent. The answer isn't pretending outrage doesn't exist. The answer is confronting the grievance honestly and urgently before the grievance becomes something larger. Because every society eventually has to decide whether it wants to hear uncomfortable voices voluntarily or hear them after they've become impossible to ignore. Somehow that's always where the story begins, with a crowd, a fence, a loudspeaker, and someone standing in the middle of it all, asking the most dangerous question in a democracy. If nobody is listening, what exactly are we supposed to do next?